In our Krsna Consciousness movement, we simply talk of Krishna. We have got so many books. If for 100 years, whatever stock we have already got, if we read for 100 years continually, still our stock will not be finished. And try to understand one word of Srimad Bhagavatam. That one word, Janmadhyasya Jataha, you can understand it for 100 years. So it is so nice, Srimad Bhagavatam. Go on reading. Every day you find both Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Every day, the more you become realized, Atmavit, you see new meaning, new life. Srimad Bhagavatam is so nice. What is the limit of learning? The limit learning is when you understand Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the limit. Finished. Therefore it is called the ultimate, first class. There is no knowledge required anymore. Just like we construct some house, making the foundation very strong. In your country, they make very strong foundation. But what is your foundation, sir? Is it very strong? You can be taken away at any moment. So, before making the foundation strong, why don't you make your foundation strong that you shall be able to live here permanently? But that intelligence they will waste time. Making the house foundation very strong, not for himself. His foundation tilted at any second. So, this kind of intelligence, they are called animals. The animal does not know. The dog does not know. The dog will live for 6 years or 10 years. But he is very proud. I have got a very nice master. Go. I am undergoing constantly some sort of distresses due to this body, mind, inflicted by other living entities, and due to natural disturbances. It is a combination of distresses. But I don't want all these distresses. But we have become so dull, like the animal. Where the animal is being taken to the slaughterhouse, but he cannot question why I am taken by force in the slaughterhouse. But if you take one human being to be killed, if you understand, he will make a great noise that this man is taking me, why I am doing so on. That is human life. So, a sensible man should consider that why I am in this condition of life, always suffering. This should be the question. Then his human life begins. Why one is trying to get money? Because he is trying to become happy. So the struggle for existence is going on. Just like we are trying to find out water in the desert. Actually in the desert there is no water. But the animal, when he is thirsty, it thinks that there is water. It jumps into the desert and the water is going ahead and he is running after it and then dies. But a sane man does not go. A sane man knows that reflection of water is not water. Because there is no water in the desert, it does not mean that there is no water. The water is there, but not in the desert. So, material way we are trying to get happiness. That means sense gratification. That is not happiness. This material happiness is temporary. That is not happiness, but perverted happiness. So, happiness means spiritual happiness. This world is called dukkhalam asasa. You subdue something, another problem is there. And you solve that problem, another problem. Problematic. And our struggle is, Krishna says, this is dukkhalam asasana. This place is for miseries, and these rascals are trying to adjust it. Bahirarthamanina. These rascals, they are trying to bring peace by material arrangement. Mura. It is not possible. Krishna is very suffering. How you can become happy here? But these rascals will not understand. Within the suffering, they will try to become happy. That is not possible. The toilet room, you want to make a deity room. How it is possible? That is not possible. So, you have to practice tapasya. If you want to get out of it, We are now accustomed to this miserable condition of life. If you want actual happiness, then you have to undergo austerity, tapasya. So don't make friendship with your restless mind. This is innocence. Don't make friendship. Simply beat the mind with shoes and broomstick. Otherwise cannot bring in control. Another alternative is Kivarya Bhakta. So if you can engage your mind at the lotus feet of Krishna, then it is. So if you want to be first-class yogi, always think of Krishna within your mind. Do not make friendship that you have become very much advanced. Now my mind is controlled. It is not so easy, sir. Therefore it is word. Never trust your mind. Always distrust. At any moment the mind can drag you. Modern advancement of science, what actually they have done, simply misleading. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, Jada Vidya Sa Mayar Vaibhava. Jada Vidya means material education. So this expansion of knowledge means expansion of the influence of Maya. And the result is Tomar Bhajane Bhava. With the advancement of so-called material science, the result will be that people will forget God. And then next is the anitya samsare mohajanmaya. This material world which is temporary, where we cannot stay, we are already captivated. But this advancement of material knowledge will make me more captive. And I shall walk just like an ass. Now, whether he is right or wrong, tell me. Just like a man who is diseased, he is recommended to worship the sun. So, if a diseased man goes to the sunshine, it actually is cured. Sunshine has got scientifically also, it has got ultraviolet rays. Now suppose you are diseased and you are cured by worshipping sun or becoming in the sunshine. Do you think that is the solution of your life? You may be cured. So how long you will remain cured? There we are, again disease, again you worship sunshine. So this is called gatagatam, chindi. The problem is why you shall be diseased at all. That should be the problem of intelligent person. Not that I become diseased and I worship sun or go to the doctor and be cured and again become diseased. You should not be satisfied by curing disease and again fall in disease. No, that is not it. Somebody wants to be powerful, somebody wants to possess wealth, somebody wants to have beautiful wife, somebody wants to possess grains and worldly kingdom. For particular type of fulfillment of your desire, you can worship the particular type of demigod. Lord Krishna says, Antavattu phalam tisha. Those who are worshipping other demigods for some immediate result, their result is antavat. It is to be ended at a certain point. It has got end. So, such things are desired by alpamedhasam. Alpamedhasam, those who have got less amount of brain cells. Why one should be satisfied by temporary? He must see that why I shall die, why I shall be diseased, why I shall go again into the womb of the mother, and why I shall become old. This is my problem. Then you have to become Krsna Consciousness. Here, Srimad Bhagavatam is recommending different demigods for different purposes because there are all classes of men. So, to take immediate effect, they worship demigods. Generally, people do not go to worship Krishna and Vishnu because you cannot ask from Krishna anything which is not good for you. Suppose you pray to Krishna on the seaside, Krishna, give me a good fish I want to catch. Krishna will never fulfill your desire. Krishna will not give you facility for possessing anything which will ultimately cause your harm. Therefore, our policy is not to ask anything from Krishna. He knows what is good for me. demigod worship is recommended in the Vedas, at least they should gradually understand who is this demigod, why you are worshipping him, where from he has got this power. Then when one can understand that this Indra, Chandra and Surya and Diti, Aditi and fire, Lord Shiva, they are all different departmental heads of Krishna's government. The real king is Krishna. To understand that. Not that one could derive all the benefits from one department. No, the different departments are recommended. If you want this, we approve. If you want this, we approve. In the conclusion, it will say, whatever you want, you go to Krishna. It all desires will be fulfilled.
So I've been told that if one fasts, being Ekadasi, it is like fasting on all the Ekadasis. Is that true?
Yes. Ekadasi is meant for fasting, either Bhima or Arjuna. But we cannot fast that way, we have to take little fruits. Otherwise, Ekadasi means fasting.
If it is possible, should we go without eating at all?
Yeah, but don't lie down and sleep. If there is service and on my fasting service stop, then I can take first consideration service.
Devotees, is that in the spiritual world every day is feasting.
And there is no fasting. Fasting is recommended when man is diseased. Man is health. So spiritual world means health. Why there should be fasting?
And that is its uncontrolled senses.
Yeah, on this. But Krishna, fast and feast the same. Better fast. If the ultimate goal is to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why the Vedas have prescribed a different demigod verse? That is replied in the Bhagavad Gita. Tad bhavati arva Maydra. Those who are less intelligent, for them, not for the first class intelligence. Those who are Krishna conscious, they are first class intelligence. They don't want anything beyond Krishna. They don't want to know anything except Krishna. The advantage is, if you can know Krishna, then you know everything. And if you get Krishna, you get everything. Therefore, this conclusion cannot be perceived by less intelligent class. These worship of different demigods are recommended in the scripture to lead him gradually to the higher stage. The mind is the cause of our material existence. Why we are in this material world? On account of this change of mind. Our position is we are eternal servant of Krishna. But sometimes the servant thinks, why shall I remain a servant? Let me become master. That is natural. Master is always in comfortable situation. Sometimes the servant becomes envious. Oh, why this man should always remain in comfortable position and we shall serve? Oh, why not? We become also in comfortable position. Let me eat as he eats. Let me sleep. This is the so-called comfort. So they want to imitate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then impossible. Without sex life, one cannot be materially enthusiastic. And if you stop sex life, then you become spiritually advanced. This is the secret. If you stop sex life, then you become spiritually advanced. And if you indulge in sex life, then you will be materially enthusiastic. The whole Eastern culture is based on how to stop sex life. And here in the Western countries, how to increase sex life. They are eating meat, eggs, drinking wine. These things will enthuse sex life. And as soon as you get a very satisfactory sex life, you become enthused to work hard. Therefore, Karmis, marriage is necessary. But because without sex life they cannot work. And for Gyanis, Yogis, Bhaktas, sex life prohibited. Hard work is not required for anyone. Man has to work so hard like animal. Then what is the difference between animal and man? If you want to free somebody, then you must always chastise it. If you pat your subordinate, then it will increase the faulty habits. And if you chastise, then they will improve. Therefore it is advised, either your son or disciple, you should always chastise them. It is not desirable that in grown-up ages also you should be chastised, because after 16th year of the disciple or the son, he should be treated as friend. If you chastise when he is grown up, then he will break up. Then instead of chastising with folded hands, I request you, you must observe our rules and regulations.
One who has decided to stop bad or immoral habits and just to make his progress in Kysna Consciousness, even by chance, if he does something which is immoral in the face of the society, that should not be taken in account of. Of course, that is by chance. Just like the electric fan is going on, and if you put off the switch, you will see the fan is still going on. But that going on will stop, because the switch is already off. The current supply is stopped. There was a force of running few minutes, but it will stop. Similarly, anyone, it doesn't matter what he is, if he tortures himself in Kysna Consciousness, then all his material contamination will be washed out. This is the immediate process.
Now, after the death of Pandu, there was conspiracy. Dhritarashtra wanted that actually this is my kingdom. Now, somehow or other I could not get it. Now my brother is there. So if I do not in any way, why not my sons? This was the problem. This is the nature of this material. One man is envious of another. In their brothers or family members. Here, Dhritarashtra or Pandu, their family members, envious. The spiritual world means just the opposite. There is no politics, no jealousy, no enviousness. There is spiritual. So the Krsna Consciousness movement is not for the persons who are envious. It is a movement to train people how to become not envious. It's a very first-class scientific movement.
The fight was going on between Arjuna and Duryodhana. So Duryodhana criticized Bhishma. My dear grandfather, you are affectionate to the other party, therefore you are not fighting very well. Oh, he thinks like that. So I keep these 5 arrows. Tomorrow I shall kill all these 5 men. So Duryodhana did not believe. Better I keep these 5 with me. Krishna understood. Krishna is all-pervading. He immediately said, Arjuna, now you go to Duryodhana and take away all those arrows. So Arjuna went to the other camp and immediately Duryodhana received him. My dear father, you have come. What you want? You want the kingdom without fighting? I can stop this fighting. So no, I've come for some other purpose. You sometimes promise that whatever I want you will give me. Yes, I am keeping my promise. What do you want? He said, give me those 5 arrows. Only by understanding Krishna, then whatever we do will be perfect.
So if we accept God is one, then where is the chance of different religious system? God is one. God is neither Christian nor Hindu or Muslim. No, God is God. Just like gold. Gold is gold. Either in the Hindu community or Muslim community, gold is gold. Because gold is there in some Hindu community, nobody says Hindu gold. Does anybody say? No, gold is gold. Similarly, God is one. There is no Hindu God or Muslim God or Christian. God is one, and you have to see what is the characteristic of God. Just like when it is gold, everyone wants to see whether it is actually gold or imitation gold. That should be the subject matter of theology. To know actually what is God and to understand what is our relationship with God. Na hannate hannamani sarite. This is a fact, and who is speaking? The Supreme Personality of God. Arjuna accepted. Arjuna listened to Krishna about Bhagavad Gita, and he understood that here is the Supreme Person. Not only that, he admitted that not that I am your friend, that's why it has become a fashion. If I like somebody, I make him God. Krishna is not that type of God, by meditation or by vote. He is God. Krishna through Bhagavan Sam. That's like when he was only 3 months old, on the lap of his mother, the Putana came to kill him. But he killed the Putana Rakshasi. He was that time also God, when 3 months old, and he had not to undergo the austerities and meditation. He had no time. So from the very beginning, up to the time of his departure from this world, he is God. That is God. God is not manufactured. God is always God. Neither God falls down. Therefore, Krishna is addressed in the Bhagavad Gita as Achyuta. Achyuta means falling down, and Krishna is Achyuta. So, we are parts and parcel of Krishna. Krishna admits, Mamivanga Jiva Ahanga Bija Padapita. We are sons of God, Krishna. Not that by imagination, God himself said. And all Shastra says that Jiva is equal in quality with God. Then why we are subjected to this birth and death, old age and disease? That is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarsana. Where is that scientist? Where is that education to conquer over birth, death, old age and disease? Therefore, the subject says here that the human life is not meant for spoiling by working hard like the animals, but what is meant for human life? Just rectify your existence. You are not to die. Na hannate hannamani. Why don't you take this formula seriously? That I am not subject to die. I am not subject to death. Why I am forced to take birth and die? Now, I must inquire about my identity, about my constitutional position, how I can become happy. This place, Krishna says, this is dukkhalayam, asahasrata. But we are trying to mitigate our distresses by material adjustment. That is not possible. Vaibhava gunamayi, mama maya duratya. Whatever plan you make, the nature will break it. You have to suffer it. Because you have preferred to come into this material world and want to become happy, you do not know what is the way of happiness. You must suffer. Krishna does not like because you are his son. But it is a punishment under the control of the material nature. If you want to avoid this punishment, dharma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarsana, this polluted condition, this is polluted condition. Ram jana, na hannati hannamane sarire. The human life is meant for inquiring about our permanent life. He requires a guru, not a guru who can give me some so-called happiness by manufacturing some material. No, guru means one who can deliver me from this dukkhalayam sahasrata. We are in the dukkhalayam sahasrata, but under the influence of Maya, we are thinking we are living very happy. Whatever you make solution, Krishna said, mrityu sarva harascha. If you don't agree to surrender to Krishna, all life, make your arrangement, but at the time of death, I shall come and take out everything, whatever you want. Mrityu sarva harascha aham. Then your bank balance, your skyscraper building, your countries, your family, your good name, everything will be taken out. And you have to accept another path. Tatha deham taram prati. Now whatever assessment we did in this life, everything will be taken away. And you will be forced to accept one body, which you cannot belong. According to your karma, you have to accept another body, because you are under the law of material nature. This material world is matter that describes as Prakriti. And again he says, Aparayam, these are inferior Prakriti. But there is a superior Prakriti. Who is that? The Jiva Bhuta, the Jiva, the living entity. So we are Prakriti. We are trying to become Purusha. Purusha means enjoyer. But he cannot become Purusha. He is Prakriti. He is enjoyed. He is predominated. And the predominator is Krishna. That is our Maya. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us the direction. Jiver Sarup Hoy Nitya Krishna. Don't try to become Purusha or enjoyer artificially. Better, instead of serving your senses, you become servant of the Supreme Lord. This is Krsna Consciousness movement. Just agree to become servant of Krishna. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sarva. That is your perfection.
One may know that sinful activity is injurious for him because that a criminal is punished by the government and because he hears from the scripture and learned scholars that one is thrown into hellish condition in the next life for committing sinful acts. Nevertheless, in spite of such knowledge, one is forced to commit sins again and again, even after performing acts of atonement. Therefore, what is the value of such atonement? Sukadeva Goswami, he answered, My dear king, since acts meant to neutralize impious action are also punitive, they will not release one from the tendency to act punitively. Persons who subject themselves to the rules and regulations of atonement are not at all intelligent. Indeed, they are in the mode of darkness. Maharaj Parikshit said, I therefore consider this process of repeated sinning and atoning to be useless. It is like bathing of an elephant, for an elephant cleanses itself by taking a full bath, but then thrown dust over its head and body as soon as it returns to the land. In every religious system, there is a process of atonement. Unless one is freed from the mode of ignorance, trying to counteract one action through another is useless because this will not uproot one's desire. Therefore, real atonement is enlightenment in perfect knowledge, Vedanta, by which one understands the supreme absolute truth. If one follows the regulative principles of knowledge, he gradually progresses toward liberation from material contamination. Sometimes one who is very alert not to commit sinful acts is victimized by sinful life again. Nowadays, we practically see also that government has enacted so many laws against criminality, but criminality is going on without any stoppage. We have got practical experience that in the airport, the security checking is going on for everyone, which means that after so much education, every one of us, we are dishonest. This answer is there in the Shastra. If one is turned to be a pure devotee, then all the good qualities automatically become manifest in him. Whereas a non-devotee, he has no good qualification because he is acting on the mental platform, he will be always attracted by material things. There was a hunter in Prayag. He was hunting in the forest indiscriminately. So Narad Muni was passing through the jungle and he was very compassionate to see the animals being half dead and half killed by the hunter. So he went to the hunter whose name was Mrigari. Narad Muni said, I simply ask you that if you want to kill the animals, you kill them total. Why you are killing half? The hunter said, what is the difference between killing whole and killing half? If you kill the animal totally, it is less sinful than you kill them half. The hunter said that from my childhood I have been taught like this by my father. I do not know which is sinful, which is pious. Narad Muni says, Vaishnava advised him that you stop this hunting business. You and your wife may come with me So they followed the instruction of Narad Muni, the spiritual master, and they head down on the bank of the Ganges at Prayag. Narad Muni gave them one tulsi plant and he advised that go on chanting Hare Krishna mantra. In the meantime, in the village, it was advertised that the hunter has become a Vaishnava. Let us go and see. They are bringing rice or atta as contribution. So he thought that Narad Muni was sending the atta, rice, dal and everything. So he became confident that he would not die because he is chanting Hare Krishna mantra. In this way, he gradually became a perfect Vaishnava because he was chanting under the instruction of the spiritual master and committing no sinful activity. So we are advising the same principle that don't commit sinful activities and chant Hare Krishna mantra. So one day Narad Muni asked his friend Prabhupada Muni, I have got a disciple, let us go and see him. So when Narad Muni and Prabhupada Muni was coming to the hunter, so he was going to receive his spiritual master. While he was going forward to receive him, on the way he was jumping in so many places. Prabhupada Muni asked him that why you are jumping on your way. The hunter, he replied that there were so many ants on the ground, therefore I was trying to avoid trampling them. So Prabhupada Muni was surprised that this man was hunting and killing animal half. Now, because he has become a Vaishnava, he is not prepared to kill even an ant. This is the practical instance that if one becomes devotee of the Lord, all the good qualities manifest in his body. Sukadeva Goswami gave the example that the dried leaves of creepers beneath the bamboo tree may be completely burnt to ashes by a fire, although the creepers may sprout again because the root is still in the ground. As soon as there is rainy season, again they sprout and become green. Idea is, you may perform religious ritualistic ceremonies, but if your heart is not clean, simply by performing these ritualistic ceremonies, you will not be purified. Only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful action with no possibility that they will be wise. Kevalaya Bhakta, he can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. So we have got two desires, pious or impious desires. Either you become desirous of doing pious things or impious things, the sufferings of this material world will continue. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, by pious activities you can be elevated to the higher planetary system in the heavenly planet, but that does not mean completion of your suffering of the material world. Even you are promoted to the Brahmaloka, where the standard of living, duration of life is very, very big. Still, you cannot avoid this material pains and pleasure. And after the resultant action of pious activity is finished, you are again dragged within this lower planetary system. Therefore, if you want to understand Krishna, then you have to take the only path, bhakti or devotional service.
So the discussion is going on between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. Now, Parikshit Maharaj, being Vaishnava, he became very much sympathetic with the persons who are degraded in the hellish planet. So his question was, my dear sir, Sukadeva Goswami, his spiritual master, that how these people could be saved from this hellish condition of life. This is Vaishnava's concern. But these rascals who do not take to Krishna consciousness, I am thinking, instead of taking to Krishna consciousness, they are busy in Maya Sukhaya. Maya is temporary. Little temporary happiness. They are making big program. He'll live for 50 years, but he is making program for 5 million years. So I am actually lamenting for them. He questions how they can be saved. That is his concern. So, Sukadeva Goswami is answering. So there are three kinds of processes for becoming free from these material clutches. One is karma, the other is jnana or yoga, and the bhakti. So, first of all, Karma-Kanda or fruitive activity. Fruitive activity means that I have done something wrong, so I go to the child and make some atonement and finish. Then again I do. This is Karma-Kanda. Just like somebody has done something criminal, he says, all right, never mind, I shall go to the court and pay some fine. This is Karma-Kanda vichar. And nowadays, even Karma-Kanda vichar, they are also not accepted. So if you want to be saved from the sinful reaction of your life and put into the hellish condition, then before your death, as soon as possible, you should atone. Otherwise you will suffer very much. This material world, there are three modes of material nature, either of them controlling me. Therefore you find three kinds of men, richer class, middle class and a poorer class. That is always existing. I thought before going to your country that the Americans, they are all rich. That's a fact. But still, when I saw so many drunkards are lying down on the footpath, then I thought, here is also third class. That means that three classes are always there. Either you go to America or hell or heaven. Because there are three gunas, Sattva-guņa, Raja-guṇa, Tamo-guṇa. You cannot escape it. Therefore, we have to come to the platform of Sattva-guṇa, Brahmana platform. If we take Bhakti Yoga, immediately we become the Brahmana. Sukadeva Goswami gave the example that the dried leaves of creepers beneath a bamboo tree may be completely burned to ashes by a fire, although the creepers may sprout again because the root is still in the ground. As soon as there is rainy season, again they sprout and become green. Idea is, you may perform religious, ritualistic ceremonies, but if your heart is not cleansed, simply by performing these ritualistic ceremonies, you will not be purified. Only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful action with no possibility that they will revive. Kevalaya Bhakta, he can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. To keep up your body fit, you require brain in order, your arms in order, your stomach in order, your legs in order, everything must be in order. But out of all of them, if there is no brain, then everything is useless. Those who will act as brain, they must possess this quality. But who is being taught of this quality? This modern civilization is teaching people how to steal, how to cheat, how to satisfy your own sense gratification, no tolerance, no complete knowledge. All fools and rascals, they know knowledge. Knowledge means they must know what is the aim of life, what is God, what we are, what is this material world, why we are come here, so many things. This is called God consciousness. There is no such educational institution all over the world. Therefore one has to approach the spiritual master. He will give direction that this boy is meant for becoming a Brahman. From the tendency or by what it should be designated. Just like he is a manager in the bank, his son does not mean that he is also manager. He must be qualified to become a manager. He has got the facility because he is son of a bank manager, so he can get some facilities. And father's training, he can quickly become a manager. Others may take time. Similarly, a person born in Brahmin family, if his father is actually Brahmin, then automatically he is getting the Brahminical training at home. This Sattva, Sama, Dhamma, Pratikha are this qualification. Because naturally the children follow the father. So if the father is a real Brahmana, then he naturally becomes. But if by chance he develops the Shudra quality, then he must be accepted as Shudra, not as a Brahmana. It is the quality, not the birth. That has fallen down the Vedic culture in India. When it came to the caste system, it is not the caste system by birth. When Bhagavad Gita it is said by quality, Guna and Karma Vaibhava. Just like he is manager, he has got the qualification of manager and he is working as manager. Then he is a manager. Even if he has got the quality, if he does not work, he is not a manager. Suppose he has got the qualities but he does not work, he sits at home, nobody will call him bank manager. He must have the qualities and he must work. And then he is. Here is Guna Karma Vaibhava. A Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra must have the requisite quality and at the same time he must work as such. But now in India they have taken no quality, no work, still he is Brahmana. That is the cause of India's fall down. I am accepting somebody as Brahmana, then I must see that he has the quality of Brahmana and he is working as a Brahmana. When this was not examined, the whole thing topsy-turvy.